Masks are here to stay at USC, at least for now. We'll tell you the trends in Los Angeles and what experts are saying.
An outspoken mother cautions against drunk driving. We'll tell you how to plan ahead this Super Bowl weekend.
USC quarterback Caleb Williams signed his second name, image, and likeness deal since coming to SC. We talked to student athletes about NIL deals, what they had to say coming up.
Annenberg TV News is next.
We start with the masking mandates here in LA County and USC. Good evening, I'm Cassie Esparaza.
And I'm Sydney Charles. Those mask mandates will now vary by county across California. State leaders have given the green light for those vaccinated to take off their masks when indoors. But Los Angeles County and USC will uphold a mask mandate. Students and USC's chief health officer shared their thoughts.
Seeing the numbers falling, they remain very high, but everything is heading in the right direction. And so that's very, I think all of us feel really, really good about that.
The goal is to get us in class, and we've waited 2 years to come back in person, so the goal is to keep it as long as possible, and I respect them for doing what they're doing.
If LA does decide to loosen the mask mandate, I don't know how I feel about that. If cases continue to go down after that, it's great. Nobody wants to wear masks forever.
Ultimately, I'm really excited because this has to happen eventually. So I think that if we keep delaying it, we're waiting for this level of safety that might never come.
The rules will vary by county. Orange, Riverside, and San Bernardino all plan to ease their mask mandates. One USC professor believes that LA County should follow suit.
Certainly in the USC campus, where 97% or more of people are vaccinated, and those people are protected against serious disease, hospitalization, and death, there still seems to be the idea that we need to reduce the spread. But, that just really doesn't work for Omicron.
All unvaccinated individuals must still wear a mask indoors.
This Super Bowl weekend, you may be like many people checking off their list for the party, but there's one item that often goes overlooked: a designated driver. Annenberg Media's Ken McCoy introduces a mom with a message before you get behind the wheel.
This weekend is scary for families like ours.
Janelle Weinberg is still heartbroken 9 years after a drunk driver caused a crash that took the life of her 21-year-old daughter, Ariel Johnson. Police say Ariel was lying in the backseat of a car driven by someone under the influence who refused a cab ride home from a party. Weinberg is a member of Mothers Against Drunk Driving. She joined the Auto Club of Los Angeles to speak out ahead of Super Bowl weekend, urging drivers and others to celebrate responsibly.
You hear about tailgate parties and you see the large amounts of alcohol, and I always wonder who's driving home after this. I understand people want to have fun and celebrate, so do I. But the thing that keeps going through my mind is people think being a designated driver is a big sacrifice, and it's not a sacrifice, it's a gift.
The LAPD said that they will be out this weekend making sure that drivers and partiers are staying safe and making sound decisions. They also shared a few tips for us, and many of those answers can be found on your smartphone.
There are so many alternatives to impaired driving. You have ride-sharing services, cab companies, designated non-drinking drivers, or you can even stay overnight somewhere where you plan to celebrate, or take public transportation. But nobody should ever get behind the wheel after any amount of alcohol.
It's just really, it can happen to anybody, and it's not just the loss of life. It's the cost of DUI. It's something that follows you around for many, many years, and it's just not worth it.
Weinberg says the most important plan this weekend is to have a plan. For Annenberg Media, I'm Ken McCoy.
The Los Angeles Police Department is increasing its enforcement as thousands are expected for the Super Bowl weekend. LAPD will be partnering up with the federal government to prepare for the week-long event. We spoke with local restaurant owner in Inglewood to get their thoughts on the safety measures. The owner of Martin's Cantina, Saul Martin, says the enforcements are needed.
We want to make sure people that are visiting us from other parts of the state or the country, for that matter, stay safe. We want them to make sure that they come in, nothing happens to them, and they feel, that they were taken care of when they visit our city, and they want to come back again.
Martin says he hired additional staff and security to take more precaution ahead of the Super Bowl. He looks forward to the business that the big game will bring to his restaurant.
USC quarterback Caleb Williams, who recently transferred from Oklahoma University, is already making a mark. Williams has landed multiple mega deals, his most recent being with Faculty, a grooming brand. Williams is part of a new era for student athletes earning money from their name, image, and likeness. Experts say this is just the beginning of new opportunities for student athletes.
It can inspire other athletes to understand their potential and their earning power with the new NIL, and he's capitalized right away since coming to USC.
Figured out in the long run, it will be better for the athletes across the spectrum of sports, and it's way overdue.
Other student athletes have taken advantage of this opportunity. University of Delaware football player Kendrick Whitehead signed with a meal prep company.
Took the deal because I thought it would be a good way to not only promote healthy eating, but also it ties into my brand and what I do as a student athlete. It has made a positive impact on my life and opening up my eyes in terms of knowing that there'll be more opportunities to not only market other people's brands, but market my own brand. So I think I should find a way to make what I do an NIL deal for other athletes and find a way to market myself.
Williams is projected to be the USC starting quarterback in the fall. He'll be playing for his former coach, Lincoln Riley, who also came from Oklahoma.
Billionaire developer and USC Board of Trustee Chairman Rick Caruso has not yet announced whether he will run for mayor of Los Angeles. The filing deadline is this Saturday. Reporter Juliette Smith shows us why some LA residents are not sure if he's the right person for the job.
The billionaire real estate developer behind LA's most luxurious shopping centers may be joining the race for mayor. Dollar Rent-A-Car founder Rick Caruso has hinted he'll run for the city's top office. One Grove shopper thinks Caruso could bring about a much-needed change.
I've followed him, and I definitely think he has the charisma, and I know he has the ambition. What I would need to see is a very detailed platform, because he would actually have to address what all the Angelenos are upset about, which is to clean up and ethically address the homeless issues.
Caruso recently switched his political party from independent to Democrat. He hopes to use his business expertise to address some of the city's biggest issues like homelessness and crime. LA residents have become increasingly concerned about the rise in crime and the 94% jump in homicides over the past 2 years.
I'm disappointed with Eric Garcetti as a mayor, and that what I would like to see in a new mayor, and that is almost the opposite of him.
Los Angeles residents have even taken to Reddit to express their views on the mayoral race. One resident says any candidate would be better than the current mayor, Eric Garcetti. Rick Caruso has strong ties to the USC community. He is the chair of the Board of Trustees, and his children have attended the school. He is also donated to the Caruso Catholic Center on campus. A USC business professor says dismissing Caruso as a billionaire with a possible conflict of interest is unfortunate. He believes Caruso's entrepreneurial success will be an indication of his success in office.
I think he would be effective, and I think he would be committed, and I think he would be a visionary, because in everything that he's done, he's always had a grand vision of what he's trying to achieve.
It is unknown at this time if Caruso would need to give up his position as the Board of Trustees chair due to a conflict of interest. Annenberg Media reached out to Caruso to see if or when he will make an announcement about running for mayor. A spokesperson in Caruso's office declined to comment. For Annenberg Media, I'm Juliette Smith.
Next on ATVN, nearly 200,000 children live in poverty in Los Angeles, and now the county is taking action.
A student battling homelessness just finished a life-changing internship. You'll meet him just ahead.
And in this week's segment of Elevate, a meditation expert shares tips on mindfulness.
Worried your friend's struggling but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write them a letter.
Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again.
Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
LA City Council leaders adopted a goal today to end family and childhood poverty by 2035. The motion allows workers to draft a plan to expand current city programs and develop new ones. The motion states that more than 100,000 families and nearly 200,000 children live below the poverty line in LA. This includes a quarter of all children under the age of 5 who struggle to find their next meal. The council calls these statistics heartbreaking truths on the city's moral fabric.
Mental health matters, especially given everything that's happened over the past 2 years. For those of us who maybe haven't checked in on ourselves in 2022, now is the time to get back on track. Annenberg Media's Katz is here with more.
Thanks, Sydney, and welcome to Elevate, a mental health segment to help you elevate your life one Wednesday at a time. Now, if you're feeling overwhelmed by the hustle and bustle of the return to in-person life, mindfulness could be your new BFF. Here's a sneak peek of my chat with meditation expert Joanna Hardy. Have a look.
Anybody can meditate. Anybody, like it is, and you can take it into your life and into whatever tradition or belief system or anything like that that you have.
What are some of the most, the first things you think of, wow, this is a way that meditation has really changed my life?
Yeah, I would say patience is the biggest thing, and that is such a broad umbrella because it's patience with myself. So that means a lot more kindness and gentleness for myself. It's patience with people in my life, so my relationships are better. Patience with the global community. Where it's not like right now. So the frustration level's lower. On a college campus, I think when there's high stress levels, when there's expectations, when there's, really wanting to socially be accepted and engage, it's like what mindfulness can help us do is find an authenticity in what's good and right for us as individuals, and then kind of engage with the world from there versus trying to get into the stream of what everyone else is doing, what I'm supposed to do.
What are small, actionable steps someone can take who wants to start being more mindful?
Take the basics of mindfulness class. 1, there's 1,000 apps. Calm, Insight Timer, Apple Fitness Plus, which I am on, 10% Happier, which I am on. There's so many. Headspace. And so maybe starting with guidance is really helpful, right? Because just to sit down by yourself alone in silence can feel awkward and weird.
Some of the apps Joanna mentioned, like Headspace and Calm, have student discounts, so make sure to check those out. And if you want to learn more about mindfulness and meditation, the full conversation with Joanna is on Annenberg Media's YouTube page. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Ella. Now look at that USC view. Now, if you were outside today, then you definitely felt the heat. And with that, let's look at the current conditions right now with Lupe.
That's right. So it was mostly blue skies, as you can see from this lovely picture. We did have mid 80 degrees, sunny weather, and all around throughout the evening, you're going to be feeling the cooler temperatures down to the mid 50s. So now let's take a look at your 5-day forecast. So looking into the condition for right now is 76 degrees. But as you saw, Wednesday, today, 87 degrees, low of 56. Then we go into Thursday, 87 to 50 with the 55 low. And then going into the weekend, the Super Bowl weekend, we go into Friday into 84, Saturday, 86, and then Sunday, 87. Perfect weather for the Super Bowl. So if you're getting together with your friends, gathering with people, make sure, you have some fun, but also are COVID friendly. So now, speaking of, COVID friendly and everything, you see the SoFi Stadium behind me. I'm going to tell you about Joseph Merchant, who grew up in 32 different foster homes. And despite his upbringing, the LA native is determined to succeed. Take a listen and check out. Joseph Merchant is a Crenshaw native with big dreams. He recently completed a 100-day internship with the Los Angeles Rams. While he's had many hardships in life, the Rams organization has been life-changing for him.
Experiencing homelessness could vary from couch surfing to living on cold cement, right? The experience has, built character for me.
The 24-year-old enjoys sports and says that's what allowed him to apply for the internship.
I love the name, the Los Angeles Rams. It sparks interest because I'm a former football player myself. And also just understanding that the name Community Affairs means, those who are dedicated to give back to the community.
Thanks to the internship, he's learned skills and tools used for day-to-day experiences.
So the tools that I've learned at the internship was, formatting a proper essay or an email as well, and also just to be able to create a form stack and Excel sheet. Those things aren't taught in my community, especially as a young African-American male. A lot of people in leadership positions don't teach us that. So with the Rams, they taught me that, and it's something that I'm very grateful for.
Jonathan Franklin worked with Merchant. He says the program aims to be a resource for many students within the LA area.
We want to be a resource 365 days a year and make sure that high school students and individuals within the Los Angeles region and beyond has access to our organization.
Merchant wants to inspire his community.
It means that I'm unstoppable, right? And it means that, those who look up to me could and understand that anything is possible and they can achieve anything that they set their mind to.
Talk about an inspiring story, and he's actually going to the Super Bowl this Sunday. So Eli, what can you tell us about the Super Bowl experience that you checked out?
98, 99, 100. Coming up next on ATVN, it's the 256th edition of the Crosstown Showdown between USC and UCLA. And we make our picks for Super Bowl Sunday between the Bengals and the Rams. And me and my buddy over here give you the inside scoop on the national anthem. All that and more coming up on Sports.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good stir. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay. Yeah.
Hey Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Welcome to ATVN Sports. I'm Daniel Hailpern.
And I'm Sam Reno. USC men's basketball welcomes its crosstown rivals to Galen Center this weekend. The Trojans take on 12th ranked UCLA Saturday night in the 256th meeting between the two teams. Daniel, who's coming out on top?
Well, I normally like to go with my Trojans, but I don't know if they're going to have what it takes to beat the Bruins. If you look back against the game against Arizona, things were going great until Isaiah Mobley got hurt. And then, everything kind of fell apart. We looked like a shell of ourselves down the stretch. We ended up losing by 9. Last night against Pacific, no Isaiah Mobley, and we only had 22 points in the first half against one of the worst teams in the nation. So I think we did end up winning that game, luckily. But I do think if Isaiah Mobley does not play in the game or his mask does not arrive in time, I think we're going to be in big trouble. But if he does play in the game, is he going to be more of the same from the end of that Arizona game? Or is he going to be an elite masked Mobley, kind of like a 2012 Kobe Bryant with the mask, the masked Mamba? But regardless, if we get down early, I don't know if we're going to be able to come back against UCLA.
That all may be true, but I'm here to tell you, throw it all out the window because of big game Boogie Ellis. And I'm taking you all the way back to high school and his days at Mission Bay in San Diego. 36 points in a rivalry game against Torrey Pines High School. Last year at Memphis, 23 points in the NIT title game win over Mississippi State, and another 27 in an American Conference tournament semifinal against number 7 Houston. That was just a 2-point loss that could have seen them on to the NCAA tournament. But that's enough from the two of us. Let's send it over to our correspondent Eli Kleinman, who has the keys to a USC victory.
Hey Sam, remember Valentine's Day is on Monday, so ask out Boogie Ellis before that. Here's how USC is going to win today's game though, or game on Saturday, excuse me. It starts with Drew Peterson right here. The basketball needs to be in his hand, and more specifically in his right hand. He does not do well with his left. He can make plays with his right like no one else on this team can. And then Chavez Goodwin, the big who's dominant down low. See that pick and roll action? It creates a lot of things for USC. This is what they ran against Pacific on Tuesday. Here's the roll. Now what it does, 2 defenders focused on Peterson. USC has 2 guards over here. These are their defenders. They're focused on them. They are told to stay out there. And then a defender who's on Boogie Ellis over here who can also shoot the 3. What that does, it means Chavez Goodwin can roll and no one's going to come with him, which creates a wide open look under the basket. No one's here. It's too late for these guys to rotate over. These defenders are still up with Boogie Ellis, and even Tom Norris would be able to throw this one down. Let's roll the tape. And here it is. USC ran it twice against Pacific on Tuesday. 2 open dunks that really helped USC seal the win against Pacific.
I think Tom would also be better at shooting free throws than most of the team. But from the hardwood to the gridiron, the Cincinnati Bengals come to town to take on the LA Rams in Super Bowl 56. This is the 2nd straight season that a team will be playing for the Lombardi Trophy at home. The Rams went all in this year. They started by trading for quarterback Matthew Stafford at the deadline. They traded for linebacker Von Miller and signed wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. They are returning to the Super Bowl 3 years after their defeat at the hands of Tom Brady and the Patriots. The Bengals are competing in their first Super Bowl since 1988 and still are on the prowl for their first Lombardi. Second-year quarterback Joe Burrow is looking to become the first QB in history to win the Heisman, a national championship, and a Super Bowl. The Rams are currently 4.5-point favorites, but that isn't going to stop me from riding with Joe Burrow and the electric Bengals. I know the Rams have stars on D, but outside of them, they're porous. Sure, Jalen Ramsey may shut down Jamar Chase, but who's going to cover T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd? CJ Uzomah may be a nightmare matchup for the Rams linebackers. And if the Bengals pull ahead at any point, Joe Mixon will be unstoppable when Cincy starts running the ball down the Rams' throats and burning clock. What do you think, Sam?
I mean, if you want to talk about porous, look no further than that Bengals secondary. Sure, Von Bell, Jesse Bates have played well, but I'm pretty sure Eli Apple is still in Kansas City chasing around that Chiefs receiving core. I mean, that secondary is not going to be able to hold up against the likes of Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham Jr. But there's not just action on the field. Let's send it back over to Eli for some of the action off it.
From hoops to sharks. There's a lot more to the Super Bowl than just what happens at the game. Right here's an example. This was from the halftime show where the Shark went a little off script. Now, in the Super Bowl, there's the national anthem, the shark, the halftime show, and also prop bets that have nothing to do with the game, like what color the Gatorade bath is on the winning head coach. One prop bet in particular, the length of the national anthem. This year, the over-under is set at 95 seconds. Mickey Guyton is singing it, and she is notoriously a quick singer. Take the under if you want to win some money on Sunday.
Eli, I actually talked to Left Shark before the show, and he told me to take the over, so I'm going to be taking the over. But that wraps it up for sports. Coming up, lining up for a pop-up shop. We'll tell you what they're waiting for after the break.
Lávate las manos por 20 segundos como Elmo.
Hay algo especial acerca de este lugar. Se siente como un hogar, una sala debajo del cielo y los árboles. Rodeado de aire fresco y la naturaleza. Todo aquí para que lo disfrutemos y para que lo cuidemos. Tenemos la responsabilidad de cuidar de esta tierra que llamamos casa, de preservarla para las generaciones que vienen. Cada acción pequeña contribuye para un cambio mayor y cada uno de nosotros podemos hacer la diferencia. Hay algo especial acerca de este bosque. Es un lugar donde se hacen recuerdos y juntos podemos preservarla y protegerla.
Super Bowl 56 is 4 days away, and eager fans are lining up to buy their big game gear from the LA Rams store at the Grove. The so-called Rams Equipment Room is a one-stop shop for all things related to the new NFC champions. Rams fans lined up and braved the heat to pick up a variety of official merch, including jerseys, caps, and mini footballs. The novelty of the store was even enough to attract some longtime fans.
My son is Eric Weddle. He's a free safety, 6-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro.
We drove all the way from Rancho Cucamonga, so I expected it to be huge, like from there to here, and it's this big. He's from here. I just met him in line. So my husband's off walking because he doesn't like to stand in line for anything.
You can visit the Rams Equipment Room at the Grove from now until Saturday the 12th. The shop is located near the fountain.
Latinos know all about the traditional loteria game, but a local artist is taking a modern version of it all the way to Super Bowl 56. The Los Angeles Rams partnered with artist Diego Mendoza Ramos to launch a special version of the Loteria, which is a Latin version of bingo. He wanted to use this art to make the game reach more than just those who grew up playing it.
What inspired me there was along the lines of trying to take something that we all know, like growing up in Mexican household and also Latino households, like we all know this game, and also just fun, especially for those who also do not know about it. It allows us to educate it and further keep that tradition alive, you know, not just in our communities like we grew up with, but the ones that we're blossoming into.
The Rams Loteria will be available for fans to play in person and online before the Super Bowl. This was such an awesome story. It really brought back so many childhood memories for me from playing Loteria with my family, with the little beans. It was super fun chatting with Diego.
Yes, I would love to hear about it, and I also love to hear about that Super Bowl. I will be watching from the couch because of those ticket prices, but I'm excited nonetheless.
Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. We're super excited for the Super Bowl this weekend. I can't wait to watch the game, eat all the snacks. It'll be super fun whether you're hosting a party or not. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Cassie Esparaza.
And I'm Sydney. For more coverage, watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Annenberg Media. Good night.